short notice, but we find there are repeatedly we are getting requests says that we need a better clarity on this particular topic called sandbox and deployment. Maybe the intention of this particular meet is not going to give you the in-depth knowledge about the sandbox and deployment because it is a vast thing. But the next 1 hour, I try to give you the high level understanding of what is this, why we need this. Maybe I can also give you the opportunity to explore on your own. In the meantime, there are in between I am going to ask you queries. We are going to give you some time to ask you the queries. Please stop me and ask me, get it sorted, then move on. Okay. So what you see in the picture, who is the guy you see in this picture? Huh? Oh, back shot turn பண்ணதாலே கண்டுபிடிச்சறீங்களா? How? Number 6, Jersey number. Okay. Okay, let's look into the first video. Okay. Now let's go to the second video. Now the question, what is your understanding from these two videos? Simple. Practice makes the man perfect. Okay, super. But coming back to our today's topic, relevancy பார்க்கலாம். Okay. உங்க சைடுல இருந்து people, anybody online? What is your understanding from these two video?
There is always a difference between the practice and the actual thing. So sandbox is what we do actually, and practice is what we do in our own.
Okay, good. Thank you for that. What you are seeing, there are two segments, right? That is the first segment, the same guy, what he is doing, he keep practicing. Okay. Whereas the second video, it is a live. It is a live one where you cannot practice. What you can do in practice, what you cannot do in live.
In practice, we can do trial and error. In real, like in error, you are out.
Thank you for that. As simple as it is. If it is a practice, you can practice whatever you want. Nobody will come and ask you, why did you do this? Why did you try this? Why did you try this? In the shot you try panninga, and the shot you try panninga. Nobody going to come and ask. He will simply say, I'm practicing my shots. If that works out really well, I'm going to try this in my live game. Simple. During practice, as one of the our trainee told, you have the opportunities to do all the trials and error. Even while you are practicing, there are chances you may miss the ball, right? There are chances you get bowled, you get LBW, whatever it is. There are chances you get failed. When you are trying something, you get failed. During the practice session, it is allowed to be failed. It is okay if you are failing. But when it comes to live, anyone will tell you, okay, it is okay, you just go and try your own. If it is work, fine. If it is not working, that also fine. We cannot take chances, right? Think about the big games where he is playing for World Cup, it's a final match. During the final match, World Cup, if he think, in my mind, I come up with a new idea of new shot, whether he has the opportunity to try out the new shots, especially on the high voltage game like that, why he is not ready to try out a new thing?
Because impact will be high.
The impact of a wrong move is very high, and then it's not reversible.
Okay, what would be the impact? We are talking only about the cricket. Okay, what would be the impact if he is coming down and playing such crucial matches? Okay, he needs to be there for some more time in the crease. But this guy coming and trying out something different which he never tried, what will happen?
The team will lose eventually because of him.
Obviously. He is such a critical player. Such a critical player trying out some unnecessary, or he wants to do some trial and he is doing the trial in live. If something he is going to try out in live, the impact is huge. We may lose the match, he may lose his own career, lose his lose his spot in the team. Obviously, eventually the team will get lost. Suppose if it is a very crucial game, obviously we are going to lose the cup as well. So you all now understood where you can do the trial, where you should not do the trial. Now coming back to a business, say let's take example of ICICI, that is a bank called ICICI. Whether this particular bank have online banking system? Do anybody have any idea? Okay. Suppose there is a developer, okay, but he is a pakka developer, being there in the industry for last 20-25 years, okay. Whatever the code he written, he will make sure no bugs. All of a sudden, this particular ICICI management, they need a small favor from the developer who is having 25 years with ICICI. They are asking him to tweak the pages in the ICICI website. Okay. ICICI come and tell this particular developer, says that, see, tomorrow there is a very big day and some announcement comes in the stock market. I want you to create a new page in our website. Okay. And the one who is giving the requirement, the CEO calling that developer who is having 25 years of experience and telling him, hey, please create a new web page, otherwise our competitor will create a similar kind of web page, we don't have time at all. Put this directly in the website. He is insisting him put directly in the live. Do you think that approach is right or wrong?
50-50 chances.
Okay, good. Maybe let's go with online. Okay, why no? If someone says no, why no?
After developing that, we have to test it.
Okay, why we should not put this directly in the live environment? There is a website called icici.com. Why should not we put the code which the developer developed directly in the website? He has so many experience and all, right? Why we should not put directly?
It's not a best practice.
Okay, that's not a best practice. Okay, one.
If something goes wrong, like the entire online service will be disrupted.
Thank you, good. The impact, look at the ICICI, the total volume of customers using ICICI. It is not only individuals like us. There are companies using ICICIs. The moment the ICICI website goes down, even for the 30 minutes or even for 1 minute or 2 minutes, the impact is huge. It is going to be loss of the revenue for the bank, because per minute they are making a transactions like anything in the online banking. Think about the 10 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hour. If any live environment or live website or something goes wrong, we call them as outage. What is that outage? There is a production environment or there is a ICICI website. It's supposed to be there. It's supposed to generate a revenue. It's supposed to give a service to the customers, but it is unavailable because this particular developer tried something new for the first time and put it directly in the website. What will happen? Something is, that goes wrong. Because of that, the website is not at all available. The particular service is not at all available. In IT terms, we call them as outage. That particular application got outage. It is not working. So what is the outage duration? 10 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, even 1 day. Okay, very recently such outage happened for one very big organization. Okay. Okay, that's an outage. The service is not at all available. Why did that happen? Any idea? Why did that happen? There is a new software, they try to put it. When they are trying to put it in the live environment, it's gone. That's an outage. when we are going to try out something new in the production environment, obviously we need to tell them that is a scheduled maintenance going to on. They should have done a very good testing. They should have done a regression testing. That is another word now, regression. Regression testing, which means take that exact load of data which is readily available in the production, do the testing on that. It doesn't mean do the testing in the production environment. Take the copy of the production environment. Assume that there are thousands of terabyte or gigabyte load of data is there. Take the entire data, put out the new software which they are going to roll out. They should have tested before they roll out into the live environment. அப்படி பண்ணியிருந்தா the chances of getting outage would have been avoided. So now we understood based on this particular guy, thanks to Surya Kumar. So he is trying out everything in the practice. Whichever works good, he is going to put it in the live. As simple as it is. Now coming back to the software, we also have to follow the same best practices. You cannot try out anything new directly in the production. You may be the best developer, or the environment which you are using is a pakka system, the laptop which you are using a hi-fi laptop. No matter of what, this should be your thumb rule. Today you may be you are putting your service in Salesforce. Tomorrow you may take service in any, as long as you are a developer, as long as you are going to be in IT, this should be the thumb rule. Should not try out anything in production, even if it is a kind of urge you are going to get from the top management. You should be in the position to tell him, if someone is telling and pushing you and pressurizing you, சீக்கிரம் பண்ணு production போடு தள்ளுந்தாங்கன்னா, what do you have to tell? Give me a moment. I cannot push any code or any changes directly into the production. Okay? I need to follow the protocol, I need to follow the process. If I am going to try out something new, I first put it in my trial environment where I will check whether it is working fine or not. Only then I will put it in the production. Where Surya Kumar is taking that practice, if you look at the video where he is taking that practice, nets mean for practice, simple. So we are having nets, okay. Where this actual live is happening? Stadium. So we have nets is the place where you can do all the trial, and we have a stadium where you cannot do the trial. All that you can do is a live performance. Simple. Okay, now this is a cricket. Now come back to the software side, especially Salesforce. Similarly, as a Salesforce developer or administrator, you are going to work on some applications. Okay, the one going to use your applications are some end user. Assume that, let's take an example of, that is an insurance company. In that insurance company, the sales representatives in the insurance company, as a sales representative, they have to sell the policies, right? They are the one using Salesforce. I repeat, there is an insurance company. In that insurance company, there are sales representatives. They are using Salesforce. As a sales representative, what they will do, usually, or sales representative irukanga, in generally what they will do? They sell the product, simple, right? If there is an insurance company, they have number of policies, 2-wheeler policy, 4-wheeler policy, or individual policy, health insurance policy. They have to sell that policy to the customer, right? As a salesman, what is my duty? I have to sell that to my customer. Previously, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, I used to have an Excel sheet where I have a customer data. I get the data, call the customer, and I will sell the policy. Now, as a upgraded employee, I am using Salesforce, where in Salesforce I have my customer data. I am going through the data, I call the customers and talk to him, and I am selling my insurance policies. All the customer information I am maintaining in that in that application. Okay, now tell me, who is the end user of Salesforce application now in this situation, the situation which I have explained now. As a insurance company, they are buying Salesforce as a software வாங்குறாங்க, they are buying from the Salesforce and they are giving it to their sales agent to use. Just like buying a laptop from a company, Dell, HP, and giving it to the employees, they are buying a virtual product, which is a cloud product, Salesforce, and giving to the sales agent. Now the sales agents are working on an environment which is a stadium. It is live. Think about it, there is a huge insurance company. So the Star Health sales agents are working in a laptop, and inside the laptop they are using a Salesforce to maintain their customer information, and they keep on calling assume that the Star Health Insurance having 10,000 sales agent, and per minute they are calling to at least 1,000 or 2,000 people. The business is in live. Just like the stadium, the business in live, and they are using a live environment. Okay, live sandbox irukku இல்லையா, live Salesforce இருக்கு, அது யூஸ் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க. We call that as a live environment. Again, the term live is there. Just like the stadium, we are having a live environment where the insurance agents are working on. Think about a developer. A developer created some automation. Okay, the automation is the moment the sales agent drop the call, there is a button in the Salesforce, start call, end call. The moment the sales agent end the call, a pop-up should appear, ask the sales agent to enter the comments of the call. Maybe the call would have happened or rejected or disconnected, or he would have sold the product. So the use case is now, whenever a sales agent start the call and end the call in Salesforce, a pop-up should comes and the sales agent should enter the command. The command should get added in the contact page. Simple. It's a use case. A developer is developing it. Okay. Developer put all the code, all the script and all, எல்லா ஸ்கிரிப்டும் போட்டு முடிச்சிட்டாரு. Now, if the developer put that particular code in this live environment, what may happen? Now there are two people involving here. One is agent. So, okay, coming back to as a sales agent, what they are doing? They are selling policies. Sales and sales agent, what they are using? Okay, they are using Salesforce. Which one they are using? They are using a live environment where they are having the actual candidates data, actual customers data. This is a person number one. Now there is a person number two. That is a developer. He is developing something. Forget about the use case now. He is developing as an automation to help the sales agent, to help him to close the deal as soon as possible. There is a developer. He put 1,000 line of script. Now the developer don't know whether the script works or not. He developed something, he put all the script, but he is not sure whether this works or not. Now he is going to put that in the live environment. He is going to put that code in the live environment, and he want to test whether it is working fine or not. So, is that right? Is that right approach for this developer?
Not a
No,
definitely.
it's not a best practice.
Why it is not correct?
The agent will get it back.
They are already working. He is not at all aware, I have 1,000 line of script, whether it will work or not. The moment he puts that in the live, without even testing or without even knowing whether it is work or not, what may happen, there are 10,000 agents working in Star Health Insurance. All the 10,000 agents will go for coffee break for 1 hour. 10,000 agents go for coffee break for 1 hour, 10,000 hours of productivity gone for Star Health Insurance. You are not sure whether that coffee break is 1 hour, 2 hour or 1 day. And the coffee break are what we call them in the IT term. So coffee break la outage கிடையாது. If the productivity is out because of the application is down, the application is not at all available, we call them as a outage. Okay, va? So are you able to follow up here? So as a developer, if he is trying out something he wants, obviously he has to improve the product, right? He has to upgrade the product. He has done all the work. He has put a 1,000 line of script and all. அப்போ இவர் என்ன தான் பண்ணணும்? ஸ்டேடியத்தில் அலோவ் பண்ண மாட்டீங்க. You are not allowing him to practice in stadium. That what he needs. Yes, he needs nets. He needs trial environment. Or you can call this a test environment. You put any name. But he need a place where he can practice. He can do that all the trial and error. Whether the script is working fine or not. Whether the button is coming up or down. Whether the color red or blue, which one is coming up. The developer wants to know whether what I am doing is correct or not. Only if he comes to know, if he is able to see the output, he can move on to the next one. Okay, now it is working good. Let's move on to develop that, develop this, develop that. So now we understood we cannot practice in live. As a developer, where he can work to try out all his developments.
In test environment, he can work. Yes,
See, so don't get confused about sandbox and all. We are just here. We are having only two now. Live, test, developer, agent. Don't get into too much complex. Keep it as simple as possible. Forget about everything. We are having only 4 in the board, 4 in the picture. We are having 2 people. One is the agent, another one is the developer. Question number 1. Where the agent will work? Live. Why he can work only in live? The actual data resides only in live. The actual customer information only in live. Okay. Now, coming back to the developer. Where the developer can practice all these things, all his development, automations and everything. Right. Why he can practice only in test environment? Because there won't be any live data. What happened? If he works in live, there are chances he may change the data or information which is in the live. Assume that a developer started working on an automation. Okay. That is an insurance policy la அவர் என்ன பண்றாரு டெஸ்ட் பண்ணி பார்க்கறாரு in live சும்மா imaginary. The policy holder க்கு என்ன பண்ணா after 10 years the company should settle 1 crore after 10 years. But இவர் பண்ண automation என்ன ஆயிடுச்சுனா the very next day that 1 crore got credited to that particular customer. Obviously if he works on the real data, if he works on the actual customer data இதெல்லாம் கண்டிப்பா நடக்கும். So that's why they don't bring developer in a live environment. Being a Salesforce developer, if you all aspire to be a Salesforce developer, be clear, your play area or your practice area எல்லாமே பார்த்தீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு டெஸ்ட் என்விரான்மெண்ட்ஸ் தான். உங்களுக்கும் ப்ரொடக்ஷனுக்கும் சம்பந்தமே கிடையாது. You will not at all work in the production. You will not at all work in the live environment. Is that clear? Where the developer work, where the agents work. So agents are the end user of the application. Obviously they have to end user and they are the one using that what Salesforce. இதிலே உங்களுக்கு குழப்பம் இருந்துச்சுனா இத நீங்க maybe you have to go through this recording one more time guys. நான் இப்ப பேசிட்டு இருக்க கூடிய terms எல்லாம் not too complex. Please understand this is not at all a complex subject, not at all a complex terms. These are all the basic terms expected to be aware. If you are going to join any organization, if I am going to hire you, without having this basic understanding, I will not at all hire you as a junior Salesforce developer. If you don't have an idea about this particular concept, it is very, very hard for me to accept. You may be really good coder in the triggers and other things. You maybe really know about automations and all, but this is a basic. If you don't know the basic, please take a moment, understand, ask questions, stop me, understand, or go through the video again, make a note. If you still don't understand, you have my number, call me. I'm happy to explain you in person. So far what we have come to know, outage. நாம் so far we have discussed something இல்லையா? I have maybe while I'm explaining there might be new words I would have told. One is outage, live அப்படிங்கிறத பற்றி பேசணும், testing, trial, regression. These are the words so far we have used. There are so many words we are going to use again. Make a note of it, not now, maybe end of this session. Alright, so let me go to the different names we are going to use. So, coming back to the cricket, we call that as nets, we call that as stadium. So, nets is a place where they practice. Stadium is the place where they have the actual live play. So, end of the day, it's a place to do something. Similarly, in Salesforce, we have a place where you can practice. As a developer, நீங்கள் எங்கே practice பண்ண முடியும் அப்படின்ட்டு நம்ம எங்கே போகலாம். Now get into the Salesforce. We can call them as a sandbox. இதுக்கு இன்னொரு பேரும் இருக்குது, environment. So environmentனா சயின்ஸ் அதெல்லாம் டிஃப்ரெண்ட் டேர்ம் இருக்கும். Let's stick only within Salesforce, within IT. இன்னொரு பேரும் இருக்குது, organization. And there is one more name, instances. Sandbox, environment, organization, instance, all relate to only one thing, that is nothing but your play area. As a developer, where you can play around. As a developer, where you can test around. As a developer, where you can do trial around. Don't get confused about these words. All these words goes to only one thing, which is nothing but a place where we are going to work. Okay va?
Can we call it as UAT?
That's a different term. உங்களுக்கு UAT இதெல்லாம் வேற டேர்மில் வரப்போகுது. We are calling about only the place. அந்த பிளேஸ்க்கு நம்ம வச்சிருக்க பேர் மட்டும். Maybe we can call that as a UAT environment, இல்லை UAT sandbox or UAT organization, instance, UAT instance. You may use this for any purpose. Maybe உங்களோட ப்ரொடக்ஷனாக இருக்கலாம், இதாக இருக்கலாம். But இது எல்லாத்துக்குமே all this comes under only one name. I'm going to give a short demo now. Please look into the screen. Screen தெரியுது இல்லையா? So in this, I have already created a sandbox. I will also going to explain you how to create sandbox and all. Let's look into a quick demo. I hope people online are able to see my screen. If my screen is not visible, please let me know. Okay, even if you are completely new to Salesforce, don't worry. We are not going to talk anything very complex or new element, very simple element da. Look at my screen. In this screen, I have a contact object. Okay. So in this contact object, I have created two fields. The one field is date of birth. The another field is age. Date of birth is a field. The date, it receives the date input. This age is a formula field. Now I am going to enter my date of birth. I have selected a date and I click on save. Okay, name, it asks for last name. So the moment I enter the name, the formula, there is a formula field to calculate my age. So if somebody completely new to field, formula field, don't worry, you will be learning in the first 2 sessions. Now, this is something I have just developed in my area. Assume that this is a live area, this is a production area where the agents are using. As a developer, I have created a date of birth and age field. Okay, I select a date which is in future and I click on save. Now what happened? What is happening here? Anyone? This is a production environment. This is a production environment. It's a live environment where the agents are currently using. As a developer, I have just created a field and I have created a formula. It was working, right? When I give my date of birth, it says 31st. But now it says minus 22. Think about that. If an agency is working on and they come up with this kind of error, now they got confused. First of all, how did they accept this? This may be a typo, an error. Mistaken, instead of 2004, they would have selected 2047. It's a mistake done by some agent. But look at the age. If they get age in the minus, there are chances, nariya backend la nariya process based on the age irunduchna, it will not allow the system to go through. So assume that if as a developer, if I put it in the production, this is how it works. On the other hand, if the company gives the developer a sandbox, the sandbox named, you can name all this developer sandbox or dev sandbox. The name I am giving, right? Developer sandbox, dev sandbox. The name and la number kudukra name da. This is not a actual term. You can give your own name. Ashok sandbox. You can give Dilip sandbox, Ram sandbox. But you can call this as dev sandbox, dev environment, dev organization, dev instance. Maybe if you want to put this a name as called Ashok sandbox because only Ashok going to work on this particular sandbox. I am going to create a sandbox for Ashok. You put this name Ashok sandbox, Ashok environment, Ashok organization, and Ashok instances. Nobody will come and ask, "Yen Ashok in peru vachindi." But what is going to be still there? This particular name is still going to be there. Nobody going to worry about what is the name you have given to the in front. So, if I am going to have a sandbox for me, so I can give a try. If I assume that there is a sandbox I got from my company, it's a developer sandbox where I am allowed to test out anything. Assume that I have just created this field and while testing out I understood when I give a future date, I come up with that is a negative element. So, I should avoid this situation. Okay, any idea or a business friend, like anybody have any idea what can be done to avoid this situation? Simple. Before enter this value, if I enter any future date, it should say what you have entered is wrong. It's a future date. Give a date before that. So, I am going to create a validation. I am going to create a validation rule in contact. Look at the validation rule. If the date of birth which I am giving is greater than today, throw this error. Date of birth cannot be future. A simple validation rule I am creating. If you are completely new to validation rule, don't worry, you are going to learn. Okay, now I have created a validation rule to avoid this situation. See, I am doing everything in my, assume that I am doing everything in my developer org or developer sandbox or developer environment. It's my play area where I am giving the trial and error. Now I go back here, now I give this future date, I try to save this record, I get a snag. It says review this field, I cannot enter the future date. So, I am doing a trial and error here in my developer sandbox instead of my production data. So, I go here, give the current date, any past date or present date, and now it is accepting. So, this is a demonstration for you to understand what will happen when a developer try out something new in a production environment. You are not sure You may create a formula, simple formula தானே நம்ம போட்டுக்கலாம். But if you don't do the proper testing, this will definitely happen. So as a best practice, whatever you do, what you have to do? As a developer, you have to take or you have to ask for a play area for you, a nets for you, a sandbox for you. You call that as a developer sandbox or put your name, Ashok Sandbox or Dilip Sandbox. Work only in your own sandbox. So now I am a developer. I have this developer sandbox. There is another team is there called QA team. அவங்க வேலையே என்னது? தப்பு கண்டுபிடிக்கிறது தான். If the developer developed something, their primary job is to identify is there any bug he has created. Obviously, assume that there is a one laptop I am having. I am having one HP laptop I am having. But I have two members in my team. One is a developer, another one is a QA. I am talking about exact laptop. Okay. If a developer is working on one laptop, obviously the QA person also need another laptop because he also need to work. What I have to do? I am a company, I am having two employees, one is a developer, another one is a QA. Both need to work. All that I have only one laptop, what I have to do? Simple. Hey, இன்னொரு laptop வாங்கி கொடுறா. If you are having two employees, give one more laptop. So I have to get a new laptop and I have to give it to him, right? So think about here. As a developer, I am having a developer sandbox where I can do all the trial, error and all. But there is another guy who is a QA. He wants to test what and all we have developed. அப்போ அவருக்கு என்ன பண்ணணும் நம்ம? அவ்வளோதான். For QA, create a one more sandbox called, you can call that as a QA sandbox. The name, I'm the one going to give the name. You put that name as a QA sandbox, test sandbox, Ram sandbox, Dilip sandbox, no matter. But this guy need to work. If this guy need to work, he cannot go and ask the developer to give the sandbox. So I have to create a new sandbox, or you can call that as a new environment. It's a QA environment or QA sandbox, QA organization or QA instances. So far, is that clear? So far, நம்மளோட pictureல யாரெல்லாம் இருந்திருக்காங்க அப்படின்னா, when it comes to the people, we are talking about agents. Who are agents? The end users. What they will use? They use live environment. And now we have developers. They are using dev sandbox. Again, it's a sandbox. Forget about dev and all. Now I have one more person called QA guy. He also need a sandbox, but I call that as a QA sandbox. The agents using what? Live? Can I call that as a live sandbox? Yes, you can. நான் என்ன சொன்னேன்? Environment, organization, instances, sandbox, எல்லாமே all are same. You just call that as a live environment. Why don't you call that as a live sandbox? Why don't you call that as a live organization, live instances? நான் ஏற்கனவே சொன்ன மாதிரி the name live, dev, QA எல்லாம் நம்ம கொடுக்கிறது தான். People online, are you able to follow this particular term? Please, if anybody have any questions on this particular one, please get it clear. Because nothing we have touched technical. We haven't did any configuration and all. All these are concepts you must understood before you apply for any opportunities. We are talking about sandbox, and now we are talking about three different people. There is an agent who is an end user. He use live environment, live sandbox where the actual data there. Then there is a developer. He use developer sandbox or developer environment, developer organization, or there is a QA person. I create one more environment for here. Now there is another person comes into the picture who is a BA or who is a person act as a bridge between the end users and the developers. There is an agent who sits in New York. Okay, he is working for AXA Life Insurance. That agent, he has a requirement, says that whenever I drop the call with my customer, I have to go back to the contact. Be cool, especially with kids. Don't worry, okay, even if you missed, call me, I will explain one more time. நான் அப்புறம் அந்த பையன் என்ன கடிச்சு கொட்டுவோம் இந்த ஆள் கிளாஸ் எடுக்கிறதுக்கு நான் திட்டு வாங்க வேண்டியது இருக்கு. Alright, assume, coming back to the scenario, there is a insurance agent from the insurance company, the company it is in US. The agent is in New York. So far we are clear, okay. He needs a help because whenever he cut the call, okay, he has to manually go to the contact, manually go to the notes and enter all the data. Obviously, it is going to take at least 1 minute to do all the stuff. He is giving a requirement, says that instead of me every time manually go to that particular contact, open the notes and enter the notes and enter, the moment I cut the call in the system, I need a pop-up should display where I enter the data, I click on save, it should automatically get saved. You are going to save my time. The agent is telling this as a requirement. But the agent will not tell in this way. Okay, he simply come to the management says, I have to go to notes every time. It's taking time for me. That's it. Because the agent don't know Salesforce, the agent don't know the pop-up window, the agent don't know the action. They know only business. They know only to call the customer, explain the policies, cut the call the customer, explain the policy, cut the call. This is what they have been doing for all the years. They don't know anything about, even they don't know they are actually working on Salesforce. Okay, எல்லாருக்குமே எல்லாமே தெரிஞ்சிருக்குன்னு நினைக்காதீங்க. Not everyone aware of, especially the business people, they don't have much idea about the system exactly. Because if they come to know about everything அப்படினா, they will not need us. Because nowadays AI and all there, they give a requirement to the AI, it can be developed. So, in between, someone we need who sits along with the customer here, who sits along with the agent to understand the pain point. What is your issue? Okay, your issue is you have to put the notes every time, it is taking your time, right? Okay, we are talking about there is a mid man here, there is a one more man here who sits with this agent and propose, okay, you are having a trouble, right? You are having a trouble in going to the notes every time. I am proposing a solution, or why don't I, if I give a pop-up over here, or if I, the moment you cut the call, if you are able to put the notes, do you think உனக்கு அது ஓகேவா, do you think it is acceptable na? Then the guy tell okay. Now the third guy, 1 2 3 fourth guy, okay, the fourth guy go to his laptop, open a notepad or a wordpad, he start type the requirement. Whenever the agent cut the call, there should be a pop-up window should display and he should enter all the commands, and there should be a button at the bottom, he should click on save. The moment he click on save, the record should get saved in the notes under the contact. He is creating the requirement. The guy who is creating the requirement, we may call them as a BA, business analyst. So இங்க நம்மளுக்கு யார் வராங்க இப்போ உங்களுக்கு, we are having a BA ன்னு ஒருத்தர் வரார். இப்போ பிரச்சனை அங்கே தான் ஆரம்பிக்குது. ஏற்கனவே சொன்ன மாதிரி, as a company I am having 3 laptops, I gave the 1 laptop to the agent, 1 laptop to the developer, 1 laptop to the QA, they are doing all the work. The fourth guy I recruited, now he is coming back to me and ask, if you want me to work, give me a laptop. Should I give him a laptop or not? Illa, if shall I get the laptop from the developer and give it to him, or shall I get the laptop from the QA and give it to him? ரெண்டு பேருமே உதைப்பாங்க, அப்போ நான் வேலை பார்க்க வேணாமா? So same, coming back to the Salesforce, if this particular guy needs to work, or needs to check whether the requirement I gave to this developer about this pop-up and all, whether he developed as per my requirement or not, he needs an environment or sandbox or organization or instance to test. There is already a guy who is testing this, right? But still, why this guy also needs to test? Because he is the one who gave the requirement. He is the one who sits next to the business. நாளைக்கு சொன்னது ஒழுங்காக வரலன்னா இவன் கழுத்தை தான் பிடிப்பாங்க. Because this guy sits in the New York next to the agent. Okay, you are all sitting in Chennai. You are developing from Chennai and giving to the one in New York. If something goes wrong, எது ரொம்ப ஈஸி? பக்கத்தில் ஒன்று கழுத்தை பிடிக்க தான் ஈஸி. So this guy also need what? An environment to work, to test whether it is working or not. So இந்த டெஸ்டிங்கை நான் எப்படி சொல்லலாம் அப்படின்னா UAT அப்படின்னு சொல்லலாம். UAT, user acceptance testing. Most of the chances user பண்ணணும், end user பண்ணணும். If I develop something as a developer, if I develop something, if I go to the agent, hey, I have developed something. Why don't you just test and give me a feedback? It would be a great help for me. அப்படின்னா what are they? I already have 1000 records to call. If you ask me to test அப்படின்னா என் வேலையை அப்போ யார் பார்ப்பா? I have already tons of records to call and maintain. My primary work is to sell the policy, not to test your environment. As an agent, what I can do? All that I can sell your policy. But for this guy, for developer, he needs some assurance whether what I have developed is meets the requirement or not. Someone should tell, right? Who can tell? The one who gave the requirement only can tell. Who gave the requirement? The business analyst. The guy who sits next to the agent. The guy who see what is the agent is going through, what is the pain point they are going through. This guy needs to test what is being developed by the developer. He also need a place to check. This is the name I am the one giving, UAT, or I can put BA, or I can put business. But for a general term, in the dev, QA, UAT, it's a general term, kalangalama they are using. So I'm creating one more sandbox called UAT Sandbox. Or you can call that as a UAT environment, UAT organization, UAT instances. So now, how many people we got? Agent, a developer, a QA person, a business analyst. All the four need what? A sandbox or environment. They need to work. Just like the laptop, they need this place to work. So agents use live environment, or you can call that as a production environment. Live nu sollalam, appadi illana innonu enna sollalam, production sollalam. So developer needs an environment, developer environment, I said dev sandbox, QA needs a QA sandbox, BA need a B sandbox. So far நம்ம பார்த்தது மட்டும்தான். What we have seen, there are different stakeholders, all that they need a different places to play, just like nets and stadium. Yes, people, someone online, go ahead.
Hari, yes. I could see that we have created a date of birth field and we have tested. But my question here is, can we do testing for standard field also, which is already available in the production?
Okay, that's a good question. Standard field. So what kind of testing you think you need to do on the standard fields? You take any standard field, maybe there is a first name, last name, there is a standard field available in accounts and contacts, right?
Yes.
So what kind of testing do you think we need to take? But answer to your question, the standard fields are already being tested by whom? Salesforce engineers. We are not engineers. They are engineers, the one who built the entire application right from the scratch. As a Salesforce engineer, they are also having a team irundirukum avangalukkume. First, when they have created the standard fields, first, I'm talking about 1995, vechukanga. There might be a developer, there might be a QA person or BA person within Salesforce. They would have done everything. After they tested only, they developed that as a product called Salesforce and selling to us. The insurance company தானே வாங்கினாங்க. The insurance company buy the laptop, right? நீங்கள் கேட்குறது எப்படி இருக்குன்னா கிட்டத்தட்ட அசோக் there is a HP laptop. In that HP laptop there is a enter button. I want to test this enter button. Can I give that laptop to my team, because I bought the laptop from the showroom, but there is a camera, there is a enter button and all. I want to give it to my team to test whether the enter button works fine or not, whether that camera works fine or not, because this
அப்படி இல்ல. Like for example, for first name, what I need, some people enter initial in their last name. I don't want them to enter a single letter in last name. I just want them to enter the complete last name. So in that time, can I add the validation rule and can I test that?
Obviously you can. So what we can do is we can do the customization on top of it. Same da ninga laptop யும் Salesforce யும் you can keep it in the same analogy. If there is a laptop, you want to attach one more mouse. There is a USB button irka. You want to attach the or a USB mouse and you want to use. Can you use in that laptop? Can you attach a keyboard and use with this laptop? Can you attach one more camera, external camera attached in the laptop and you can use? All these are configurations or customizations. Maybe we can call this a customization which you can do. But what you cannot do, inge irukra enter button, the enter button is in the right. I want put that enter button in the left. You cannot do. That is the difference between the standard and customization. Standard field, custom field சொல்றோம் இல்லையா? So what you are asking is all about, I want to add one more customization on top of what they have already developed. That is the first name, last name. I want to add a validation rule, which is a new customization you are going to do. This is still you can do. We come to know there are going to be different stakeholders. All those people need a different sandbox. How we are going to create the sandbox? So now I am going to share a link where you can practice this and you can create your own sandbox. So நம்ம இங்கே குயிக்கான பார்த்தலாம். Sandbox are the special organizations or environment or instances, whatever you call, that used to test changes or new apps without risking the damage to your production data or configuration. Correct, இதான் பார்த்துட்டோம். So different names நம்ம பார்த்துருக்கோம். Sandbox, environment, instant, organization or org. This name நம்ம விட்டோம். ORG. So now how to create and practice the sandbox? In your free developer edition, you are all using a developer edition, yeah? You don't have access to create it. Salesforce didn't give that as an option to create a sandbox. What you can do, this is the link where you can create a 30 days trial. You are going to use this software, Salesforce software. You have to sign up for the 30 days trial. Give all the data. வீட்டுக்குலாம் ஆள் விட மாட்டாங்க Salesforce. Okay. So you can give your name, email, phone number, company, any company you give, because all that you are going to do a 30 days trial தான். No credit card, no debit card. You just create the 30 days trial. Just like how did you create your developer edition, you are going to give input for all the data, create your 30 days trial. If you need this link, Google பண்ணிங்க அவ்வளோதான். Salesforce 30 days trial enterprise edition போட்டுங்க. So Salesforce 30 days trial for enterprise edition அப்படின்னு போட்டிங்கன்னா you will get that free trial. So now the moment once you created the trial, உங்களுக்கு இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு org வந்து என்ன ஆகிடும், ஓப்பன் ஆகிடும். Okay, look into my screen. Here I am going to tell you how to create the sandbox. Go to this setup and go here and type for sandbox. This particular options will not be available in the developer edition. It is available only in the 30 days trial org. Click on the sandbox. There you see options, right? இந்த இடத்துல வந்து நீங்கள் என்ன பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்னா, you see there is a button called new sandbox. I have already created one, but for your sake, I have created one sandbox for whom? Any idea to whom I have created this? I have created this for my QA. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 people are there. Now to whom we have to create? யாருக்கெல்லாம் create பண்ணலாம் சொல்லுங்க? Developer. So I am going to create a developer sandbox. I name it as dev. Look at here, create from அப்படின்னு கேட்டிருக்காங்க இல்லையா? Create from production. What is production, guys? Live environment. Okay, you are sure. So why we have to create from production? இதெல்லாம் இப்பதான் கொஞ்சம் in depth நம்ம டெக்னிக்கலாக போறோம். Why we have to create from production? Exactly. I need to develop something on top of which is already available. நம்ம வந்து என்ன பண்ண முடியும்? ஆல்ரெடி QA ல இருந்து ஒரு சாண்ட்பாக்ஸ் கிரியேட் பண்ண முடியாது. We cannot create from dev or we cannot create from UAT. So as a developer, why did you employ me? You want me to develop something. You want me to develop something out of which is already available. So I am creating from production. இத changes நீங்க பண்ணிக்கலாம் with the sandbox, but all that I need production. Here I am going to use this because I have only this option. But look at that, there are different category irukku இல்லையா? What are the different category of sandboxes here? Developer, Developer Pro, partial copy and full. Okay, don't get confused with this developer and this developer. Okay, they have given the names for the sandbox. Simple. என்ன நீங்க வந்து dev ன்னு சொன்னீங்க, QA ன்னு சொன்னீங்க, you told BA and all, but all that I see, developer, Developer Pro, partial copy, full copy, this is the name Salesforce has given because it is their product, right? So end of the day, it's they have given the name, but every sandbox has its own configurations. If you are going to buy or Apple phone வாங்க போறீங்கன்னா, it comes up with what? 256 GB, 512 GB, 1 TB. Everything is going to be one phone, but the phone has a different variants. These are the variants. If you are going to buy a car, not all the cars are going to be the same. எல்லாமே Tata Nexon, no. Tata Nexon, which variant? Basic variant, mid variant, higher variant. So that's how here. Sandbox, all these are sandbox. If you need a sandbox with a capacity of 200 MB, you are going to use developer. You need a capacity of 1 GB, you are going to use Developer Pro, 5 GB partial copy and full, same as the production. Not only this, not only the capacity, look at what it is includes, excludes. The first one includes all the configurations, all the customizations, Apex and metadata and all users. Okay guys, what is configuration? Configuration, we are talking about configuration. What is configuration? இப்போ கூட சொன்னோம், very recently we have told about customization சொன்னோமா? Okay, configuration. Assume that you have created a lightning flows and you have already deployed in the production. Lightning flows, you have created a lightning flows and it's already in the production. When you are creating the sandbox from the production environment, that lightning flows also will come to your developer sandbox. If you have created a custom object which is already available in the production, now you are going to create a sandbox, what will happen? Those custom object which is already available in the production also will come. That is what the configurations. Apex classes, customization, and there is one more thing called metadata, the new term. Metadata. So data na namakku theriyum, what is the metadata? Okay, first of all, what is data? எங்கே கேள்விப்பட்ட மாதிரி இருக்கல இந்த கொஸ்டின்லாம். சூப்பர், எக்ஸாக்ட்லி 10th இந்த கொஸ்டினுக்கு 2 marks பாஸ். ரைட் ஃப்ரம் த 10th வந்துட்டு இருக்கு. வாட் இஸ் டேட்டா? டேட்டா. Okay, obviously it's a information. Coming back to sandbox, coming back to Salesforce, what we can call that as a data within Salesforce. Chumma for our reference, all the customer data we call that as a data in general term. If there is a customer called Ashok, his email ID is ashok@ageskill.development and he has bought the policies for 1 crore and so far he has done a premium for all this. There is a policy object, under the policy object I have all these data, your records. So data is nothing but customer information. Now we call that as a data within Salesforce. Okay, what is metadata? Anyone have idea metadata?
Yeah, data about data.
Data?
About the data.
Another 2 more question. Pass. Okay. What is the data of data?
It will help to locate the data.
Like objects and the information about objects, where it is stored, the data is stored, the page layout, record type.
All these configurations you have created, right? All the customizations you have created. If you create an Apex class called, if you created a Visual Force pages, if you created LWC components, lightning flows, all these are a data. The lightning flows which you have created, it's a data at the end of the day. So we call that as a metadata. Now only we have told about if you have created 10 lightning flows, you need all the 10 lightning flows to be copied to your developer org so that you can develop on top of it. Assume that there is a lightning automation already there. There is a bug in the lightning automation. What you need? You need that to be copied in your developer edition. Only then you can work on top of it or you can fix the bug. That's why we don't rely on Google Meet. Always Zoom it போறது. சரி. Anyway, we are talking about only this. So, நம்மளுக்கு என்ன சொல்லியிருக்காங்க? They can copy all metadata copy பண்ணிக்கலாம் and all users. If there are any users, assume there are 20-30 users in the production, all the users data வந்துரும். But அவங்களோட email ID லாம் வராது. அவங்க email ID லாம் it will be morphing ஆயிருக்கும் or there is a new ID get added. Assume that my actual ID is ashok@ageskill-development. But when I create a sandbox from the production, my information may come like Ashok Raja, but the email ID, all the sensitive informations, right, they won't get copied in general. அதெல்லாம் கொஞ்சம் in-depth configuration போகும். Since it is a very basic class, let's not get into it, deep dive into it. So look at the Developer Pro. What is the difference between the Developer and Developer Pro so far? Only capacity. Okay. Developer Pro and partial copy, what is the difference?
Capacity and includes.
Capacity, what is the other one? It includes records of sample selected objects, sandbox template support, and there is one more thing called refresh intervals. We'll see about refresh. Again, full, what you can have it in full? Full means full. Whatever in production, you're going to get it in a copy in the full sandbox. Again, these are all variants. Don't get confused with the names. Developer, Developer Pro, partial copy, full. It's a name they have given. Just like we have just discussed about Apple irukana, 256 GBU, it's Apple phone. 512 MB, 512 GBU, it's Apple phone. So don't get confused about the names. But you may ask, you get questions in another Salesforce administrator, if you are doing a certification or some interviews, there are chances they ask about this. What is the difference between Developer and Developer Pro and partial copy? மனப்பாடம் பண்ணாதீங்க. By using திரும்ப இதை பற்றி செய்யும் போது you please remember all this thing. Okay, now coming back to here. Again, Salesforce has a restriction. We can create only developer sandbox. If you want to create a sandbox for your QA team, you have to create only from here. If you want to create for your UAT team, you have to create from here. Because we don't have any other option. Ingella options illa parunga. Suppose if you really bought a license from the Salesforce, I will also show you how it looks like. This is a different org. This is a real Salesforce org. This is a real customer data. You see, there is a next option is here. This is actual Salesforce org currently using by some company. நம்ம வாங்கிட்டு வந்திருக்கோம். Look at here. They have 30 licenses here, But whereas in the 30 days trial org, we are having only what? Access to this. This company has bought a license only for these two, Developer and Developer Pro. Maybe if the company has bought a license for partial copy and full, you will see the next button here. In the difference, purida. First one, this is a trial org and this is the company org. We are not going to work on the company org, we are just going to use the trial org. So all that you need to do is just click on next. I have given a name. In the Apex class, நம்மளுக்கு இப்போ தேவைப்படாது. Sandbox access I am going to give all active and I am going to create. The moment I click the button create, it is going on. You see it is in queue, it is in pending. Since I have already created this for QA, I see there is a login button here. So this is how we can create a sandbox. Now if I click on login, this is a QA. Okay, coming back to this question, I have created a dev, I have created a QA. From which sandbox I am creating all this? Online, people online. I am actually working on, right? I am working on some sandbox only. Which sandbox I am currently working on? People online. Are you able to follow this question?
Developer.
Okay, I got an answer as developer. Here I got an answer as a production. But the answer is production. Maybe you can call this as a one more name, mother environment. Only in production org you can create a sandbox. You cannot create sandbox from developer or from QA, from UAT, you cannot create. So please be aware. So this is a production org. I am creating this and I have already created an org for QA. Now I am going to logging in. இங்கே போய்ட்டு login பண்ணுறேன். Okay. The moment I click on login, I get a new URL for logging in. Look at the name. Look at the username. This is completely new, right? I haven't given this username and all. Coming back to the password. So far I don't know what is the password, because all that there is a button called logging in. I click on logging in and it's go to the username. I don't have password with me. So what you can do? You can give the same password which you have given for your production. Suppose if you forgot this URL, Ashok, I don't know this URL, I forgot this URL, what is this URL is about, because it's a very lengthy URL, I lost it, அப்படினா கூட நீங்க என்ன பண்ணலாம், provided you know the username, okay, what is the username? This is the username, right? If you forget the username, what you can do, you can just go to test.salesforce.com. If you forget the URL, go to this. This is a one generic URL for all the test environments, whether it is dev, QA, BA, UAT, whatever it is, all the testing you except your production, you can give this. Login ID. You don't have to worry about the URL. So the common URL is test.salesforce.com. All that you remember your ID and password. Simple. Similarly, if you lost your production URL, this is the production URL. You see there is a speed, business, something is there. If you lost this URL also, what you can do? You can use login.salesforce, where you used to log in with your developer edition. Same, right? Give your username and password of the 30 days trial org which you have created. This will get login. இது எப்படி login பண்ணுங்கிறதுக்கு மட்டும்தான். So this is, look at here, இங்கே QA sandbox ன்னு இருக்கு, whereas here I don't have that name, இல்லையா, because this is our production. இது தேவைப்படாது இனிமேல். This is the production environment. So now I got two environment. This is the environment where the agents works, where you see this is a live environment where you see the 30 days trial is left and all. And this is the one I have created where my developer or QA or UAT, the BA, they will work. Is it clear so far? So how to create sandbox we have seen so far, and how to create a new sandbox and how to logging into the new sandbox we have seen. Don't worry, everything is recorded. After this session, you can go through this. Now, I have developed something in my developer edition. Here it is QA, maybe consider this is a dev environment just for sake of our understanding. I am going to create a field in the sandbox. Right now I have created a sandbox for my QA. Assume that the field is already created in dev, now it is in QA. Now I want to move this particular field to my live environment, from my QA sandbox to live environment. How to move the one you have created in the test environment, after testing and all, how to move that quicker நம்ம பார்த்துடலாம். So this is the environment where so let me create for test sake, let me create a date and time. So I have created a field. So here there is an option called change sets. This is the area where you are going to move this field. You see there are two change sets, inbound, outbound. So inbound na, if you are going to receive the component, you can use inbound. If you are going to send the component to some other environment, now I am going to use outbound. So here what we are going to do, are we going to receive any field or we are going to give a new field we are going to send a new field. So I am going to use outbound change sets. From QA to connected organization. So we have to first check whether those two organizations got connected or not. So how to check that first? Because these are two different machine, two different laptops. If you want to connect two laptops, now you need a LAN cable to connect two laptops. Just like this, if I want to connect these two environments, I need to ensure whether those organizations got connected earlier or not. So I will go here and check the deployment setting. You see there is a deploy option, deployment setting. I think, look at here, something is broken here, right? I don't have authorization, direct authorization. Seems like I need to edit and I have to give authorization. Yes, we can receive inbound from QA to production. So now the connection has been established between the sandboxes. You see now it's got connected, right? Now let's go back here, refresh this. Click on new. So now I am going to create sample deployment. The name please use some best practices. Just for the sake of this particular training, I am giving this name. Let me give the version 0.1. Okay. Now we are going to add the component, change sets component, add here. Guys, don't worry if you forget the steps, okay. Put it in Google or ChatGPT, you get the steps. The intention of this particular session is all about you must have the understanding about what is sandbox, why sandbox. If you got this and you forget the steps, don't worry. Not only for this is applicable for all the Salesforce. Ashok, I forgot the steps to create record type. I forgot the steps to create the flows. Don't worry, leave it. But if you don't know what is record type, for what purpose we use record type, then that's a misery. So now I am going to select the component. What is the component we have created? Is that object or field? What is that? It's a custom field. date of birth, select, add to change sets. Now, upload. I am going to upload from this QA to production. I am going to select this org, upload. It may take some time, usually depends upon the speed of our internet or server. I think it's got uploaded there. Now go there, go to the production. Now the production is going to receive the field, right? So where I have to check, inbound or outbound?
Inbound.
Good. So I'm going to check the inbound change sets. You see it is already there. Don't click on deploy directly. First validate whether it is going to work or not. All these things you can learn later, not now, because again it is 15 minutes. What is test class? Why we need test class? So it got validated successfully. Now after validated, we have to deploy this. I go to inbound change sets, deploy. Okay. Right now we are in the production org, we are yet to deploy. Okay. Let's go back and check whether account has the field called date of birth. Already one irukku.
Contact.
Okay, contacts. Okay, we are in the sandbox actually. Account la da நம்ம எடுத்துட்டு இருந்தோம். இப்போ deploy பண்ணது account ஆ contact ஆ? I don't think it is contact. DOB நம்ம கான்டாக்ட் இது பண்ணோம். ஓகே, அப்படின்னா கான்டாக்டில் ஆல்ரெடி இருக்குமே. சரி, எனிவே இஃப் வி டிப்ளாய் அப்படின்னா 2 DOBயாவது இருக்கணும். வில் சி. ஓகே, டிப்ளாய்ட். காம்பனன்ட் பார்த்தது அக்கௌண்ட்டுப்பா. சி, the parent object is account. We have uploaded date of birth from the account. So now it is deployed. Look at the deployment status. It's got deployed successfully, which means the field which we got uploaded from the QA, now it got deployed in the production. I am going back and checking the accounts for date of birth. சரி, இங்கே வரல. Let's look into the fields section in accounts. Here it is. Look at the configuration details. It got created now 140, but manually create பண்ணல. It got deployed from there. Why it is not visible? Any idea? Page layout, it can be a reason, or field level security can be a reason. Let's check the field level security. There is no visibility we have given here, so I am going to give the visibility. Let's save it here. Now maybe it's taking time. Okay. So what might be the reason? I have given a visibility, but still it is not coming up here. What might be the reason? ஒருத்தவங்க கேட்ச் சொன்னீங்க, வேற page layout. Because we have checked so far only fields, right? So part of the debugging தான், simple. உங்களுக்கு இதெல்லாம் கூட கேட்பாங்க கேள்வி உங்களுக்கு. நம்ம நினச்சிப்போம் இவ்வளோ சிம்பிள் கேள்வியெல்லாம் விட்டு வந்துட்டோமே.
Profile permission based பண்ணி கூட fields visibility.
We have given this. Just now we have given the permissions. So now we have to check the page layouts. Okay. Thank God we got only one layout. DOB is there. Yeah, DOB is here, but it is not added in the page layout. So let's get added. I'm adding it here. Okay, now we go back. Let's refresh. அப்போ வரலையே அப்போ இப்போ ஒத்துக்கலாம் it is catch. It should be here at least. Maybe you can use control and refresh those who are using Windows to clear cache. எனக்கு இங்கே மேக்ல எதுன்னு தெரியல. சரி என்னப்பா காம்போனன்ட்ஸ் ஓகே செட்டப்பா இது மோஸ்ட்லி கேட்ச் இஷ்யூ தான் இருக்கும். Okay, it is already in detail. Okay, now Napa? எங்கே சர்ச் பண்ண சொல்றீங்க? இங்கே சொல்றீங்களா? இருக்கு DOB இருக்கு. இதை மூவ் பண்ணிக்கலாங்கிறீங்களா? சரி நீ பார்ப்போம். I put it in the additional information. Let's see whether it is there. வந்துருச்சு. வெற்றி. So that's it. How to get the component, how to create a sandbox, how to create a component in one sandbox and how to move it in the other one. The steps is very simple. How to create a sandbox and how to move the sandbox na romba simple da. But over 1 hour we have discussed about something else, right? That is very important. If you forget the steps, Ashok, I forgot how to create a field, how to give a profile visibility, page layout visibility, or even I forget what is inbound, outbound. Prachane illa. Not only this one, you take any Salesforce topic. Ashok, I forgot the formula, I forgot the validation, I don't know the syntax, I forgot the syntax for trigger, I forgot the syntax for LWC. Don't worry at all, because that is a thing which keep on changing. Okay, if you forget all the small in the configuration steps, it is absolutely fine. But if you forget what is sandbox, why sandbox, what is record type, why record type, what is flows, why flows, if you forget the concepts itself, I forget the entire concept, I don't have an idea at all what is this so called concept called sandbox, why we have been used, what is the business advantage over that. What is the business advantage for sandbox? Having a sandbox, what is the business advantage? You can avoid outages. You can avoid outages. You can avoid the impact which is going to create in a business. That impact can be huge. This is the direct business use of you are going to use sandbox. Obviously, you are going to test and all. Developer is going to get benefit out of it. But how the business is getting direct benefit out from this particular Salesforce topic matters a lot for you. This applies to all the Salesforce topic. You see there is a curriculum, there is a tracker sheet, you are learning, you are getting a review and all, right? If you don't know how this particular topic which I have learned for last 1 month or 1 week or 2 weeks is directly helping the business, then there is no purpose of your learning. Adla neenga enna pannirukkalam, you may get trainer verification, you may get other verification, case study verification, trial heads, ranger, it can be anything, or you may be a developer, PD1 developer, PD2 developer, you may have 10, 12 certifications. But if you don't have an idea of what is this, how this is going to help the business directly, if you cannot talk about business, especially when it comes to Salesforce, there is no point. Because today it is lightning flows, tomorrow it can be something else. Yesterday it was Visual Force page, Aura components, now it is lightning web component when it comes to UI development. Tomorrow it can be something else. The one thing it is going to be there for every time is business. As long as there is a business, as long as there is a customer, there is going to be a business. Sale is going to be there, support is going to be there, marketing is going to be there, the business is going to be there. So it is very important for you all to first learn the business. What is sale? What is marketing? Why I am learning Salesforce? Assume that I am a company, I am using Salesforce, I am paying $100 per user per month, $100 per user. If I am having 1,000 users in my organization, I am going to pay 1,000 into $100 every month. Why I have to pay for this so-called software? Because the software is going to help me 100 times improve the revenue of what I am already doing. That's why I am going to use the software. Why I have to hire you, first of all? If I added you into my company, you give your 8 hours, I can use your 8 hours and I can build my business. Everything is business. Without having understanding or basic understanding about the business, you put a hands on Salesforce, there is no point. End of the day, you may get the case study verification or trainer verification, but what is very important, Abdina, you may also get the job with reference or your LinkedIn post, blah, blah, blah. You may get the job. If you really want to sustain in this corporate world, if you really want to sustain in the so-called IT world, you must have a very good understanding on the business and how the so-called software which you are going to develop or customize or configure going to support the business directly. People likes IT people only provided you talks business. The one goes to on-site, the one who talks business, not the one who put எனக்கு 1000 லைன் கோட் அடிக்க தெரியும்னா கோட் அடிச்சுக்கிட்டே இரு, சென்னையிலே இரு. If it talks business and you also know how to do code, நீ அங்கே இருப்ப. Thanks to the one who constantly give the feedback about this particular topic. You all have a feedback form, right? ஒவ்வொரு வாட்டியும் யாராவது ஒருத்தவங்களை கூப்பிட்டு உங்களை they asking you to fill the feedback form. This is one such topic. Repeatedly we come to our notice via the feedback form. There is a team working on that in AJST because this is also a business for us, right? So we have to listen to you. So there is a team at the back end listening to all your feedback. One such feedback, such a repeated feedback. Thanks to all the people who put this part of the feedback form. Give your input. Don't worry, someone is listening to us. But the moment you stopped sending your input, we have stopped getting some upgradation. எதுவாக இருந்தாலும் கேட்டால் மட்டும்தான் கிடைக்கும். ஓகே, எதுவாக இருந்தாலும் எஃபர்ட் போட்டால் மட்டும்தான் கிடைக்கும். All that you need to do is speak out. All that you need to do is put some effort. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, all your patience. Good one. Bye. If you have any questions, you have any queries, check with your trainers in the Q&A sessions, or if you are still not able to get it cleared, you have my number. Feel free to ping me in WhatsApp. We'll discuss in person.
If you are interested to learn Salesforce, visit AJ Skill Development website. There you can find our course curriculum and you can come to know about the list of courses we are offering. We are offering Salesforce Administrator and Salesforce Development courses. To know about us and the team, you can visit our About Us section. This is an organization we are doing Salesforce training from 2018 and we have trained and guided 2000 plus candidates so far. And if you also want to know about our placement assistance, visit our placement assistance section where you can find the list of people and the category. You can see the list of people who got trained and placed from our side. You can also visit their LinkedIn pages to get to know about our training and also the feedback from the relevant trainees. Okay. And also if you want to do the course inquiry, click on contact us. You will see the form. You can fill the form and submit the inquiry. Our team will get back to us. Thank you.